I'll take the one on the left.
Seems like Mr. and Mrs. Bunny have been practicing the multiplication table.
Oh, no!
Bunny-themed media seems to be popping up like actual rabbits recently. We got the new girlfriend edition of Shi no Usami, this chapter featuring Bunny Girl waitresses, and on the same weekend the Bunny Girl Senpai movies premiere in the United States?
Coincidence? I think not!
Actually, yeah, it probably is just a coincidence. Though 2 back-to-back chapters featuring bunny-themed characters is suspicious, Nakamura-san.
I can explain.
I'm Moonlight150 from A Slice of Gaming, and this is my quickie review of the latest chapter of the 100 Girlfriends manga, Chapter 170, Mai and Momoha Become Maid Certified. Maybe. We'll be doing an overview of the chapter, talk about some positives and negatives, and an overall review. I won't show and talk about everything in the chapter, as I encourage you to support the official release and the translations that are being done, so let's get to it. The chapter opens with Mai yet again cleaning up Momoha's tent. Quick question, how did Mai get stuck doing this? Did she end up pulling some short straw that we never saw? This is like the 3rd time we have seen Mai taking care of a drunken Momoha and cleaning up her tent. She's pretty much become her caretaker. Also, I gotta ask, Momoha refers to herself as a big sister to Mai. Is this her poking fun at her little sister complex, or... Oh god, do all the girlfriends refer to each other as sisters? We have heard them say fellow girlfriends in the past, but if they start referring to each other as sisters, this is getting way too close to sister wives territory for my liking. The cult of Rentaro is starting to form. Though this time Mai isn't giving it her all, as she is focused on cramming for her upcoming maid certification, as we learn that she has made an agreement with her grandmother that she is only allowed to stay and work at Hahari's place with Mei if she practices and passes this certification. Otherwise, she will have to return home to study there instead. The night before the exam, when Mai is filling out the application form, as she usually does, she gets distracted by thinking about Mei and accidentally circles the application to be a bunny girl waitress. You know, the classic screw-up. Momoha decides to tag along for support, and there we are introduced to Mai's grandmother, who is here to watch Mai pass or fail, to where Mai now comes to realize her mistake and has put on her application uniform of an aspiring bunny girl waitress. You know, the first hint should have been when you were handed the uniform and there were rabbit ears as part of the ensemble. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a guy who talks about video games and manga on the internet. Mai comes clean to her grandmother about the mix-up, to which, Momoha, where on earth did you get this outfit from? Where's your normal ensemble? No, seriously, you live in a tent behind the school's garden and blow all your money on booze and gambling. Where did you get this? Moving on. She rightfully has already declared this a failure on Mai's end and says she must return home for training. Momoha butts in, trying to convince Mai's grandmother to give her another chance, saying that if she can pass the bunny girl certification, that she may stay and do the proper maid exam next year, to which the grandmother agrees. Momoha sneaks her way into a bunny girl outfit as well to support Mai in her endeavor, to which we montage Mai doing Mai things and slipping up everywhere and get that image off screen before I get demonetized! Frustrated at her constant slip-ups, Mai accepts defeat, to which Momoha realizes that she is a great maid, but only when Mai is taking care of her while she's drunk, so she runs off to find some booze and comes back completely sloshed. Now having to take care of a drunk Momoha, Mai's skills come back into play and she impresses all the judges, to the point where at the end of the exam she ends up passing, and Mai's grandmother leaves pleasantly surprised and says she has found a good friend in Momoha. Mai realizes what Momoha has done for her and thanks her, to which Momoha mistakes Mai for Rentaro and plants a good drunk kiss on Mai. Time for the review. Needless to say, I love these kind of chapters, the ones that take away the harem for just a moment and focus on a character or two. This time being Mai and Momoha, though it's mostly Mai here. Momoha is just here for support and making me question my life choices. It's chapters like these that show the strength of this manga and its writer. A less talented writer would have taken this premise and just added a new girl every other chapter and be done with it. But this madman said no. You're gonna get character development and individual time with these girls from time to time, so they feel like real characters and not just archetypes and tropes. Yes, it has its good gags and characters that we enjoy being around when they're all together, but the fact it's able to balance its main plot of acquiring 100 girlfriends, but also able to give us some time with each one, is to be admired from a writing standpoint, and will only make this series stronger in the long run, where we come to like each girlfriend for who they are as actual characters, and not just numbers. Starting with the positives, as I said, I love these setups for stories, especially the ones where Rentaro is nowhere to be found. As much as I enjoy his company, it makes it more special when these girls go out and do other things besides be his girlfriend and pursue their own goals and dreams. Unlike a previous chapter that featured a handful of girls going off and doing their own thing, only to be revealed at the end of the chapter that Rentaro was tailing them the whole time, protecting them. While the gag and reveal was funny, it did take away from the chapter for me a bit. Unlike here, when Momoha drunkenly mentioned Rentaro, I was half expecting him to be in the stands watching and cheering for them the whole time. To my surprise, he was nowhere to be found, so I'm counting that as a plus. I also want to give props to how this story was handled. We see a lot of setups like this in manga and anime and even sitcoms, where the characters tend to lie through their teeth to try to bullshit their way out of punishment or getting caught, but not here. Mai just comes out right to her grandmother, embarrassed at her mistake, and is ready to take the punishment and not try to come up with some lie about why she signed up for the Bunny Girl certification. Speaking of the grandmother, I like that they didn't make her so unlikable. Yes, she is strict, but she isn't cruel. She gives Mai the chance to redeem herself and is even happy for her at the end when she passes the exam she didn't intend to do, and is happy that she has someone like Momoha in her life. It would have been so easy to make her so much colder and leave in disgust or something. This is also a great showing for Momoha, even though she was just here as support, showing once again that though she may be a drunk, she does care for the people in her life and will go to any extent to help them. Especially when she decides to use her brains, such as convincing Mai's grandmother to let Mai continue, even though she signed up for the wrong exam. Lastly, we've gotten a couple pairings and groupings among Rentaro's family, and it's nice to see another one emerge here between Mai and Momoha. On to some negatives. This is clearly a chapter to throw Mai into the spotlight and give her some focus, since she has had next to none since her introduction outside of some omnibus appearances and maybe the Yakiniku chapter. But it didn't really do much for me in that regard, mainly because it didn't put a new light on the character of Mai. It's still Mai focusing on being a maid and her being a klutz. At least we did see her perform well, but only in the annoyed mood of having to take care of a drunk Momoha. And I swear, this is also probably the longest we have heard Mai talk without her saying anything about her dear sister every other line. Maybe this is a personal gripe, but her tsundere personality towards Rentaro to the point of just dismissing him is honestly not fun. Like, even just showing a quick picture in her mind that she would miss being around everyone in Rentaro would have sufficed, but we saw none of that. I mentioned this in my ranking video, but I swear I think she is the girlfriend that has shown the least amount of interest in Rentaro out of everyone currently. At least the other tsunderes like Karane and Kurumi have had moments really showing their affection. Overall, a decent chapter. Don't know if it's one I'll be returning to reread anytime soon since it didn't really add anything to Mai's character, and only just exemplified what we had from Momoha in some other chapters. I am curious if this whole being a certified bunny girl will come back into play in any kind of way. Oh wait, there is that. Maybe I will check out this chapter every now and again. Hope you all enjoyed this video. A shorter one compared to my last two, but that was to be expected since there wasn't nearly as much going on here than previous ones. So be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It definitely motivates me to keep at this venture every week as I love talking about this ridiculous series that I'm obsessed with. And be sure to check out our other content such as our podcast A Slice of Gaming every Saturday morning, and A Slice of Anime every other Thursday morning. And I will see you on the next video, where apparently we have to deal with Kasuri's shenanigans again. Let's hope it's not another hair chapter.